Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next episode review of Tomo-Chan is a Girl, episode 7. I always say, this was once again, another great episode. First half, I think it's just a little bit slightly dramatic, because the first half of this, because we get the flashback back to when June met Tomo because we first moved in from Tokyo, and when he first met Tomo, and how these two became friends, during their childhood, right? And also when he first met Mizuzu, which that was also very funny too, though. But it was slightly because how back in the last episode, how he said how he wants to catch up with Tomo, right? Basically he wants to become strong like her, be stronger than her, and basically how much he looks up to Tomo, and so we get there the first half, and then the second half is when we get to when they go to the beach, which you think I already know what's gonna happen to the beach, right? But anyway, going back to the first half, like I said, so when June moved next door to Tomo, and he's playing his game, it looks like a Nintendo DS, right? 2DS, and we see, and how first when Tomo was this very high energetic kid, though, and when he was to play, when she wanted to play his 2DS, right? You see how it starts bending because, like, it's made out of rubber because she's so strong, right? Even back when she was a kid. So, which was 10 years ago. So it was 10 years ago because we had the episode where Tomo turned 16, so 10 years ago, so both of them were basically 6 years old, basically. So, and she was banging too much, and all of a sudden it broke in half. And then June goes and sucker punches Tomo, and thinking, oh, he feel bad because he punched her, but thing is, though, Tomo being as tough as she is, So then, after that, Tomo tells her parents. First, he brings her dad over to apologize. Right. First, because June first meets Tomo's dad, how big he is. Right. But then it's like bowing down. It's like, oh, we're so sorry. Right. And then Tomo's mom comes in, and it's how Tomo and her dad were both afraid of her. Both hiding behind June. And Tomo's mom was saying sorry, right? June, being a little pervy, he has his eyes on Tomo's mom's chest area. I'm like, and he's like, yeah, it's okay. And she's apologizing. He's literally staring at her chest. It's like, yeah, it's okay. But Tomo says but says she wants to be friends with him. So they go all these things together, like go rock climbing, running together, climbing trees, right? And it's how it shows how he wants to be. He's like he's not really as in shape as he was in the modern 10 years later, though, because he was just a skinny kid back then. And then when they go bug catching, right? Take some stag beetles and rhino beetles, right? That's when we also first meet June meets Mizuzu, and Mizuzu is already giving him already basically insulting him already, calling him a bumpkin. And when they're climbing up those high steps, right? Like Tomo, she's just piggybacking Mizuzu up the stairs with her, while June can barely walk up the stairs. And we see Mizuzu, just giving her dark, scary face, right, to June, and then it's like frustrating June. He goes and just charges all the way up the stairs until he's out of breath. So, and then they see them catching some of those beetles, and I get the moment where, like, a little bit with Mizuzu, because she all this time has been reflecting even since then, like, if these two have become a relationship, right? Boyfriend girlfriend. Although it's kind of funny to say that because even though like when in the first episode, like when Tomo first confessed, but June just played off like, oh, I was like that was like a thing. That was not a real love confession. So, but the thing is, Mizuzu was thinking like if it enter like sort of kind of like a relationship, she's afraid that Tomo won't have much more time with her anymore. So that way she's like holding on to her as like, hey, I'm right here still, So, and since then, also June has been training, getting in shape, working, training with Tomo's dad, and becoming stronger, right? So, and even there's a point where when there's even a more point where when June got another 2DS, right? And some bullies, they hit him, right? And Tomo's like, what happened? Oh, he's like, oh, I fell, it's okay. But then Tomo can sniff out bullcrap like that, so later when she goes and returns the 2DS to June, knowing that she went and beat those guys up to get it back, right? And so June tells her, you can have it until I can get that back until when I'm stronger than you. And so that's the whole reason why he's been wanting, because how much he looks up to Tomo, because he's been willing to catch up with her, become as strong as her, and then to the point where till 10 years later, where Tomo's playing that same 2DS game, and it's like, you're stronger than me now. You can. When are you gonna take this back now? So that first episode of the flashback gets a tiny bit of dramatic stuff, but it's still very hilarious stuff at the same time. Get to the beach where they're all go to the beach along with Mizuzu, Carol as well, and with this more we get a lot of June's embarrassment because, like I said, he does have feelings though, but the thing is, sometimes he's his feelings where he's confused or sometimes he's oblivious, right? But he does have those feelings he has somewhere, but he's just too busy, just juggling is what his feelings should be, right? Because sometimes he's oblivious, sometimes he's confused, but we see his feelings slowly start showing, little bit by little bit. And then when he sees that the Tomo is wearing a hoodie, right? It's like, hey, come on, you don't want to wear a hoodie on the beach. Come on, take off. And then he sees her bikini and especially her chest, and he's like, whoa! It's like it goes and zips right back up because it's a total embarrassment, right? Because he's never seen her wearing a bikini before, and let's mention her chest area as well. And if I mention it also that when June sees Carol in her suit, right? Because she's also big chested as well. He's like looking up, just like doesn't want to look. But it was perfectly fine him sitting next to Mizuzu because you say he's with Carol and Tomo, but you're okay being around me. And he doesn't give an answer on that though because Mizuzu is flat chested and they just want to see, he's not going to say anything about that, which that made him also funny as well. Even to the point where where Carol's telling Mizuzu's telling Carol's like, it's like, oh, is he scared? Is he scared of boobs? And it's like, no, just the opposite. He's a pervert who likes big boobs, and just like Carol's like, I don't get it. Of course, being the bimbo she is, of course she doesn't. And seeing how they're trying to have some fun, having some fun at the beach, right? And then there's this guy who comes up to Tomo, like, hey, you're cute, which is shock for Tomo at first because no one's ever called her that before. And then she gets a little scared because the guy's like, hey, let's just go over by those rocks over there. And she really wants, she's holding herself, trying to hold herself back because she just wanted to punch the guy, right? But then June comes out of nowhere, it's like, hey, leave her alone, it's like, and the guy's like, who are you? Are you her boyfriend? That just to kind of also send him also over the top because we see like pictures of him like as a volcano or a meteor hitting Earth, right? like all this stuff is like pulling his heartstrings because he's never called that before, and also think it was with her and Tomo, right? Because like I said, how his feelings are getting confused right now. That's why, and even where we're also where Carol's surrounded by all these guys, and he goes and pulls her, was like, hey, come on, and then the other guy says, "Are you her boyfriend?" And it's like, think whatever you want, and it's like, and Carol's like, kind of like, oh, really? Didn't say that though, but it was that kind of sense. And then we're to the point where where Tomo and June are eating ice creams, and even Mizu tells Tomo, if you want to, show how you feel about June, try to get more close to him, basically try to like sitting next to him or whatever, and they're eating ice cream, and he was like also like staring for the space for a second, right, thinking about about him and how his feelings towards Tomo, right. A little bit drops onto her shoulder, and she licks off herself, and we see he's all of a sudden his inside starts bursting like it shows a meteor hitting Earth. His feelings we see his feelings starts coming out little by little bit. We know how like his feelings are towards Tomo though, but like I said, he's just so confused on himself, right? So, or to another point where he's also no more embarrassment where when either Carol or Tomo at Preston, because when they cling onto his arm, right, but his arm is touching their chest, he's getting also infuriated, like out of embarrassment. So we see his feelings more towards Tomo is slowly progressing though, but like I say, he still can't decide how he truly feels, right. But of course, Mizu kind of knows. It kind of like knows his feelings of how he is. So, and then even on the way home back on the train, right, they're all resting except for June, and then even when Mizu's telling him, it's saying to herself like, June doesn't see Tomo anymore, anything else but a girl anymore. But hey, this episode, it was another very fun episode because like teensy bit of dramatic stuff though, but a lot of times it's very funny and stuff. You see that when it comes to the beach scene, it's a fan service, showing their chests, because of or Carol or Tomo, right? But the thing is though, you can have that though, but the thing is it shows more in June how he feels, right? But I thought it was another very fun episode. A lot of very funny stuff as well, but like teensy bit dramatic stuff, and for sure I enjoyed it with the flashback, how they first met, how they became instant friends, and how when June reflects on how he wanted to catch up with Tomo, be stronger than her, It was very nice storytelling, So you get like some more of our characters that I've enjoyed though, so. But we still get like a few more, because we're already halfway through the show, right, so. But hopefully we'll see more of June's feelings get more, more and more they come out more, and but we'll see on that. But it was a very fun episode. I enjoyed it though. So yeah, with a flashback and then the fun stuff at the beach. It looks like June's embarrassment was very funny. Was very hilarious. Oh, your boyfriend? He doesn't say anything or something like that, but it was still fun all around. It's just another fun episode. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode review, and we'll see you next time. Later.